How do I find the slope of a line when all I'm given are 2 coordinate points? Well, I've gone ahead and I've plotted these 2 points here. -3 and -1 is 1 point, and 0, 5 is the other. Now, anytime you're given 2 coordinate points, you can connect those two and create a line. So they're basically saying, hey, I've got a line, and 2 points that are on this line are this point and this point. Now, how do we use that to find our slope? Now, if we were given the graph, we could use our rise over run, and if you need tips on that, I do have a video on that. But if all we're given are the 2 coordinates, let's pretend this is not there, I have a formula called the slope point formula. So you would have seen this in class likely, but we might not necessarily know how to use the slope point formula. So first of all, we have to figure out what these x1, x2 thingies are. So I'm going to remind us that whenever we have a coordinate point, we have the x coordinate comes first, y coordinate is second, just like the alphabet. Same thing with this. The next thing I have to do is choose which point is my point number 1 and which point is my point number 2. And it does not matter. This could be point number 2, this could be point number 1. Because I'm calling this first one point number 1, I'm going to have a little subscript of 1. And over here, because this is point number 2, I'm going to have a little subscript of 2 there. So let me go and list out the information I have now off to the side. So my x1 is -3. My y1 is -1, x2 is 0, y2 is 5. That's going to be my legend, and I'm then going to take these symbols and replace it with the value that's listed there. So our slope according to this formula is going to be y2, which is 5, minus y1. Now be careful here. y1 is a -1, so I'm still subtracting a -1. Don't forget about those double negatives there. x2 is 0 minus, and once again, my x1 is negative, so I have that double negative sign there. When I have 2 negatives, they turn into a single positive. 5 plus 1 over 3, I get 6 divided by 3. That gives me a slope of 2. Now, if you're the kind of person who sees patterns really easily and doesn't necessarily love formulas, this is for you. I've highlighted the x-coordinates in orange and the y-coordinates in green. When you're trying to find your slope, we just have to remember that we deal with the y's on the top. Now, my memory tool for that is rise over run is our slope. Now, rise and y's, they rhyme, so it's our y-coordinates that go on top. So I'm going to take those green coordinates, and I'm just going to pick one of them to start with. Now, I'm going to choose to start with this one this time. I'm going to do, actually, you know what? I'm going to choose to start with this one this time. I'll get -1, and I'm always going to find the difference. So -1 subtract +5 on the top. Now, on the bottom, in orange, now I'm going to deal with my y coordinates. Now, if I start with -1 from this coordinate, when I'm in the denominator, I can't start from the other point. I have to start with my -3 again. So -3 minus the 0. That's going to give us -6 over -3. And when you reduce that, these negatives cancel each other out and we get 2, just like we had above. Now, like I said, it doesn't matter which order you do it in as long as you're consistent, and the green or the y's have to go on top. So what if instead of starting with this point, I started with this point? Well, that's fine. I still start with the y's on top. So now I have 5 minus -1. And on the bottom, I have 0 minus -3. Now, the working looks a little bit different, but ultimately, you'll get the same answer. This becomes a plus. This becomes a plus. And we get the same answer of 2, 2, and 2, just like we did before. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to help others find this channel. Thanks.